What's up, my friends? Welcome back to another week of the KCM. So excited to be here today. We've got a fantastic lineup for the Terrans. Royal Lightspeed, Protoss, Mini, Snow, Noob, and Zerg, Soma, Queen, and Soul Key. Wow, a lot of great big names here today. And we're going to be starting off with Royal versus Noob. A PVT to start off. Honestly, looking a bit Zerg favored right now. If I have to be picking a favorite here, I'm gonna go with Zerg. Soma Queen Sulky is an amazing lineup. And I don't know, Noob Speed, both relatively lesser known players. Of course, Royal and Light make up for that a lot. Mini and Snow, both capable of clutching games versus Zerg, but still, that all-star lineup, Soma, Queen, Sulky, damn. That is going to be hard to beat here, especially when you have to play a TVP first. Be tough to do, but so far, Protoss has been doing very, very well here in the KCM. And taking a couple of wins thus far. Zerg just taking up the rear. It's really up to Terran right now to prove themselves, because they haven't even put a single point on the board in KCM yet. I'm hoping for them to make some sort of comeback here. Looks like Royal is going to throw down a barracks there on low ground. And this is good news for Royal. Putting that barracks on low ground means he will be able to pressure this 12 Nexus a little bit quicker. And he's sending out the SCV directly in the correct direction here. Sending it down south to find that Nexus right away. And we're likely going to have a SCV pull and a bunker rush here against this Nexus. He pops in just for... Wait a second. Oh, okay. Maybe a second barracks here? Or he's just hiding this SCV, yeah. So he pops in and just barely sees that Nexus. And then dodges back with the SCV. Coming back in to confirm here. Yeah, he sees the Nexus once again. And you know, Noob has no idea that this is the second SCV that he's spotting right now, and he sees a Marine coming across the map, but the bunker has already started. Now, Royal gonna reveal the SCV here, but still, that bunker has not been scouted. Okay, now he's gonna see it, but the bunker's already done. Second bunker about to start here. The first Marine is about to arrive. He's gonna jump right into this bunker, and nothing that Noob can do about that. Damn. Well played by Royal, hiding that SCV expertly, just barely dodging that first probe, keeping it out of that vision. And now he's going to be rewarded here with a successful bunker rush coming against this Nexus first. He's going to kill that without having to pull any additional SCVs. Only 2 SCVs were pulled here. And a few extra Marines built. He will kill this Nexus. And the only consolation prize here for Noob is that he's managed to build quite a few probes out of this dead Nexus here. Not building any at the moment, but does have a few extra probes because of that, but that's definitely not worth the 400 minerals here at the beginning of the game. Noob at a serious disadvantage here as we continue on. Wouldn't be surprised to see Royal just pull the Marines out of there. Or he can wait for a Vulture, but we don't even have the factory down. There's the factory now. Mines are still a long way off. I'd like to see Royal just drop out of the bunker, maybe leave 1 Marine behind in the bunker, go back home and just play it safe from here. He's at a great advantage. He's got his command center on the way. It's going to be a while before Noob can break out of here. I guess you want to delay that as long as possible, at least until range is done. But yeah, he is sending some things back home. Maybe the SCVs, maybe the Marines. Yeah, 2 SCVs heading back home, and there should be 4 Marines left over in this bunker. Just gonna wait, delay that new Nexus as long as possible. 2 Dragoons go ahead and run by, so hopefully Royal is making a bunker at home. Yeah, he does. He's got a couple of Marines here as well, so he is safe here at home. Just needs to keep that repair going there. And these Marines over here are going to unload. Take a couple of pod shots. Guess it's worth it. I mean, the shields will regenerate there, but dealing a little damage anyway. Noob is looking so dead right now. He is going to clear out this bunker in the front. We'll be able to take his Nexus now, finally. But that Nexus, or the command center, has been mining for so long at the natural for Royal. It's really, really rough here for Noob. Tanks should be popping out soon. Gonna end this Dragoon harassment with only 2 Dragoons attacking the bunker. It's really not that big of a deal here for Royal. He loses all the Marines, but it's fine. Got an observatory down here. Observer's gonna be popping out soon. I'm surprised he didn't want to go directly into Reaver here to try and get some counter damage, some counter harassment going. But he's going for the Observer now. Siege mode is finally done. We'll push away all of these Dragoons, and Royal gets back to mining now. He's in a very good spot. Double Nexus from Noob. Has to find a way back into this game somehow, I guess. Double Nexus plus Dragoon production and Observers is going to be the answer. Just keep the Terran off of your back while you macro up into 4 Nexus. Looks like Royal not going to give him much breathing room here, though. With that 4th Nexus coming up, he's going to have to defend a very quick attack here. Going directly up to 5 factory. He's going to cut SCVs. You can see now the command center's not blinking. We're cutting SCVs. We're just focusing very, very hard on our production. Noob going to get in there with the Observer and spots this play. He knows what's coming. Can he defend it? Reaver's going to be critical in the defense here. Alright, sorry guys, I was containing a sneeze there for quite a while. It really wanted to come out. But we're fine now, we're good. Getting back into this game. Guys, it's my 30th birthday. It was my 30th birthday a couple of days ago. The big 3-0. Was just celebrating with Mio a couple nights ago. It's weird, it feels weird. I mean, I don't feel much different, but I know it is a big deal, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just doing the same thing as what I'm doing before. Keep casting Broodwar, hopefully gonna do it for a lot longer still. I still enjoy the fuck out of this game, I don't know, I'm 30 years old, I've been watching it since I was 13, and still fucking love it, and it just keeps getting better, so we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. Here comes the Reaver. Gonna get a good shot. Okay, it kills a couple of those Marines there. That's not quite enough. The Reaver needs to do more than this. Needs to delay even further. We're all doing a great job of pushing up in steps. Picks up that Reaver just barely in time there. He's about to lose it. He's got about 1 shot left on that Reaver before it dies. Gonna move forward here, trying to get a Reaver shot off. Gets 1 hit on the Vultures, but not a great hit. Gonna pick up that Zealot. Keep moving the Reaver here. It's so close to a win for Royal. If he just manages to get over towards the natural a little bit closer, he's going to cut off the bases here. He's going to shove his opponent back into his natural. Adding on some turrets. Going to prevent these shuttles from landing Zealots on top of the tanks here. 2 Reavers are out now. Picks off 1 tank, loses a couple of Dragoons though for the privilege No, he's going to take a shot from the tanks on the Reavers. Not good, not good at all. He pops out another Reaver. He's going around for a counterattack. There's not much left in the base of Royal. 3 Reavers here. He's going to drop some Zealots on top of these tanks, try to pick off a couple of them. But loses a Reaver at the same time. 1 tank here on the ramp. I feel like you should go in there and just try to get some more damage. Only 1 tank there. Shouldn't be enough to hold that back, and Noob has to hold this off. He cannot allow this Nexus to go down. He's losing probes here at the edge of the mineral patches. He's completely walled in over here on the left side. He's moving his Dragoons around. He doesn't have an observer here to help his Dragoons make it back home. So Dragoons are just sitting there kind of idle. Not even blocking in additional Vultures from reinforcing. Vulture's just going to head out across the map. Oh, he's going to catch this tank at least. Maybe 2 or 3 tanks, in fact. 4 tanks are here. Maybe he can pick off these tanks. That would be huge. Some of the Vultures do manage to make it back, though. And they're going to be throwing down mines. These Dragoons are being denied. No, he does not pick off these reinforcements. He will be surrounded and killed. And I believe Royal going to eliminate Noob here. A win for the Terrans to start things out. Oh, can he get some big shots? No! No hits on these tanks. Gotta use these Reavers. There we go. Killing off 2 tanks there. Loses a Reaver, though. Gonna fall back. The Nexus has fallen, and yeah, this is just about hopeless for Noob. Cannot fight his way out of this situation. Trying to come down the ramp here with some Dragoons. He's bringing up another shuttle. And the Reavers get some nice shots there, killing off 2 tanks, but these 4 in the back are going to seal the deal. No breakout for Noob. These 2 buildings in the front, hilariously annoying, and GG is called. Noob taps out, and Royal takes the first win of this week of KCM. Okay, Noob has been eliminated, and next we have Soulkey versus Royal. Royal spawning down here in the bottom left. Soulkey in the top right. We're playing a game on Eclipse here. And Royal, I mean, he's getting his supply depot out here in the front, but going directly into Command Center. Super greedy build here from Royal. Command Center first, down on that low ground. And he will be setting up a wall in the front here. He's pulling a couple of SCVs. One is going to scout, the other going to throw down a barracks here. Getting that incomplete wall, not putting the supply depot on the right and then a barracks below. Instead, he's going to throw the barracks on the right-hand side here and leave just a small gap, which can be blocked by the SCVs. Making that gap even a little bit smaller by adding on another supply depot there, but it's not linked tight. He's going to have to put an SCV or a Marine in between those buildings there, just to make sure that nothing gets through. And I think he's going to be fine here. We've got a 2-hatch play coming from Soulkey as a follow-up. But eventually he will finish this command center. He will get his Marines out here. He'll be completely fine, and he's going to have a great macro advantage from this position. Refinery coming up right away. Possible mech follow-up here from Royal. Maybe he wants to get into a quick Goliath tech with the range, or maybe... Okay, engineering bay coming right now. I was gonna say maybe it's going to be a quick Valkyrie build, but with that engineering bay coming up at this timing, with the academy coming up as well, I believe it's just going to be early +1 with a bio push here in the early mid game. It's going to be tough to defend against this 2-hatch Muta though. Hopefully the extra economy from that early CC going to allow Royal to build a bunch of extra turrets. The 3rd hatch comes down, so not going for the straight up 2-hatch play instead, getting himself into a 2.5 hatch. Very popular build recently where you throw down the 3rd hatchery just after purchasing your spire there, getting into the 2nd gas afterwards. You can see it now, mining off that 2nd gas. He's got a good amount of drones. The mutas will be slightly slower than a normal 2-hatch, but because he managed to stop the SCV on the ramp there, Royal's got to prepare here for a regular 2-hatch muta timing. He's got to have all those turrets up in time to hold off that 2-hatch play. But little does he know, oh, he gets the scan. He manages to spot just barely the hatch at the edge of the vision. So he knows now that the mutas will be slightly delayed. He hasn't added on any turrets just yet. This should be the timing to add those turrets right about now. But with that extra scout, he knows that the mutas are going to be slightly delayed. He's going to delay his turrets as well to match the mutalist timing here, and he's going to be perfectly fine. So great play thus far from Royal. With excellent scouting, just able to get the build that will give him the best advantage in this game, the best chance of beating this player, Sulky, who is so incredibly strong. He scans the 3rd base, checks that, finds out that nothing has been thrown down in that location. Turrets are messing up the mining a little bit here, but that's fine. You absolutely need every single one of these turrets in order to hold off these early mutas. Now, Royal is getting a decent amount of bio out here. He's going to lose this turret, it looks like. Dodging around here inside the main base, going to pick off another SCV or 2. But Royal heading straight across the map with this Bioforce. Sulky will have to react to this. He cannot just stay here in the main base of the Terran and try to harass him to death. Instead, he's got to come back here. The Marine Medic will absolutely crush this natural if he's not back here harassing this Marine Medic force. This is all by design here. Royal wanted to pull the mutas out of his main base, so this is his response here, pulling these Marines out. He's got to keep this alive, though, if he wants to have a strong mid-game. If this gets surrounded and killed, Sulky will be able to take his 3rd base, no problem. Here comes the Lings with the mutas. He targets down as many mutas as he possibly can, but he loses that entire Marine force there. A big blow to the army supply of Royal and to his map presence. Now the 3rd base is down. Sulky can just continue to macro out his Muta Ling here and fight off any additional Marines that come right now. He doesn't need to add on any sunken colonies. He can get into his next level of tech, which is going to be those Hydras. Possibly Lurkers popping out here shortly. And he can just avoid building any sunken colonies. So this is a great position for Sulky now, picking off that early group of Medic Marine, and I think he can pick this group off as well. He just needs to slow it down a little bit, pick off a few units here and there, pick off a few Marines, slow that push, macro out a few more mutas, a few more Lings, and then surround and kill that army. Okay, this time Royal going to reinforce a little bit here, setting up some more Marines. It's a pretty decent sized wall of Marine Medic. We'll see if Sulky wants to engage with this. And Overlord does go down, so supply block here for Sulky, and he will end up adding on these sunken colonies. So what I was saying before, disregard. Sulky doesn't feel that he has the ability right now to just hold off with pure Muta and Ling. No sunkens over here, actually, so maybe I was right. He's getting out a bunch more Lings. Hydras have popped as well. There's a few lurkers being morphed. I think 1 or 2 sunkens on the high ground, and 1 sunken here on the high ground with an egg on the ramp going to be blocking off these Marines. They're going to transfer their attention over towards the natural. Here comes the Lings coming up. Nice surround by Sulky. Really, really great job right-clicking those Lings into the center of the Marine clump. And only these Marines left over at the bottom. Again, going to clean up this Marine medic army. Beautiful job by Sulky. Completely cleaning out the map of Terran forces. Sends his lurkers straight across towards this natural. 2 supply depots in the front. Those are going to be sacrificial, I think, when this lurker bus comes in. And there's no bunker here. I think Royal might just be straight up dead. No bunker means he just has nothing to retreat to here. The lurkers can leapfrog forward 1 by 1, unburrowing and burrowing. More lurkers are going to be created and sent up here. He's got a couple of irradiates coming up soon, but what does he irradiate here? There's a lot of mutilasts. It's a juicy target, but these lurkers are just so scary here. He decides to just grab a couple of lurkers here, irradiates on 2 of those. Still going to be 3 left over. He's spreading out his Marines as much as possible. This is his chance here. Can he actually break out? It looks like he can. Lurkers fall back and take some good shots on these Marines, but looks like every lurker does go down. The mutas are fighting here. There's a few Lings as well, but he does break out. Wow. Beautiful job by Royal. Just barely managing to break out of that contain. That attack into the natural might have been deadly had he not handled it as perfectly as he did. Royal now out on the map once again. This time with some splash damage. Having those the science vessels in there definitely changes the game here. Hive tech has been rolled out by Sulky. He's going to dive forward with his lurkers, but immediate irradiates and a fallback with those Marines. The Marine count looking pretty low at the moment. Needs to add on some more. Oh, almost getting one of the science vessels, but not quite. Running up with these lurkers. Not a lot of Lings left over, though. He's going to have to run away. Lurkers immediately unburrowing as soon as they burrow there. And running all the way back home. Man, those are low. Defiler finally popping out here. A 4th base on the way in the top right. I doubt that'll be allowed to come up, though. Picks off a science vessel there at the edge. Few lurkers moving between the main and the natural. Gonna head back to the natural now, though. Or excuse me, the 3rd base and the natural. Lings should have the attack speed upgrade finished. They should be cracklings by now. Looks like they are. +1/+1 is done for Royal. And he's attacking the base in the top left. That base has been spotted, so that's going to be the point of contention here on the map. This base, if it comes up for Sulky, is going to grant him all the gas that he could ever need to fight in this game. The Royal's definitely not going to want to allow that to come up. 5 science vessels here. A lot of Scourge are available. Can he actually get some connections? No. Blocked there. Finally, a Dark Storm does come up, but so many Irradiates come down on these Lurkers. I think they're all going to get picked off. He falls back for now, but I think just for now, Royal will be forced back. A Nidus Canal going to come up here in the top left, and Sulky going to do his best to try and hold on here. Marine's going to run by, pick off this Nidus Canal, and with that Nidus going down, just focuses down the hatchery. Only 1 lurker, not enough to break through here. Oh, pull back the drone. I could have started another hatchery there. Might have been a good idea. Coming out with lurker and or Ling and Hydra right now, getting the plague down. This is a great backup plan for Sulky since the 4th base wasn't able to come up. going for Plague plus Hydra could be a very good fallback plan. Can one-shot those Marines after they've been plagued. It's very, very cost efficient. He tries to get another base up here at the 4th location, but not able to get it down. The drone dies as well. Very annoying stuff. And Sulky is absolutely on the ropes now. Pushes back that force of Royal. Royal has an insane number of science vessels, though. So many irradiates can come out. He's adding on another factory. He will be going into that very important tank tag against this Hydra play. You've got to get some tanks rolling here. You got to get some production coming. He's going to send this factory back home, put an add-on, and start getting that siege mode as quickly as possible. He has his 3rd base up. All he needs to do is just prevent this army of Sulky from rushing across and breaking through his natural with a defiler. He's coming through right now. The Hydra's going to get irradiated here. Lurkers as well. Those are some really good irradiates coming down. Lurkers coming up with the Hydra. No defiler here just yet. Some of these Marines are going to be running by as well, trying to cut off some reinforcements. Here's those Lurkers. Ooh, nice pick off there with the Hydra's going to grab a couple of these science vessels. Surround here on the Lurkers. The Hydras all go down. Beautiful cleanup by Royal. He lost a lot, but he picked off that army. What Sulky has been building up for quite a while. All of that has been picked off. Here's the defiler now finally coming up. He needed one with that army. Just didn't have it. And now he's going to get irradiated here again. Looks like making some of those into Lurkers. That does save the Hydralist. If you have a Hydralist that gets irradiated, just make it into a Lurker. Keeps it alive. And time is running out for Sulky here. Another base going to be coming up. Another command center being built. Has a couple of mutas in the way of this dropship, but that's not really enough to stop this drop from going down. Sulky trying to initiate an attack here on the Terran side of the map, but Marines wandering across here are going to go ahead and harass that 4th base, as well as the natural at the same time. Looks like the natural's been cleaned, but this base might end up going down here. He's just out of range of these units with that Lurker, and yeah, look at that. The hatchery's going to fall once again, and with that, I think the hopes of Sulky have been dashed. +2, +1 is done for Royal. He cut through that hatchery extremely quick. Only +1 armor finished for Sulky. That is very, very rough. Tons of Marines being popped out here. Another load up on that dropship. Going to be sent over towards the natural once again. Harassment to death here is the name of this game. Royal just continuously picking off bases at different locations on the map, preventing that 4th base, the all-important 4th gas, from ever coming down. There's the irradiates on the defiler. You've got to send the Hydras forward first. A tank's on high ground at the 3rd base. You cannot break in there with just pure Hydra. Never going to happen. He's coming over towards the natural. There's the tank on high ground here as well. Only one, though. He's trying to break through this location. There's quite a few fire bats in that area, but okay, this drop is not going to do anything. Cracklings right on top of this, ready to pick off everything as soon as it pops out. That was not a good drop by Royal, but he takes his 4th base, and he's still preventing the 4th of Sulky. So fighting less with, or fighting more with less, is never going to end up working out for these Zerg players. So looks like Sulky just going to get slowly smothered out here. Another Dark Storm can come up here on the high ground. Okay, he does get some Lurkers up on that high ground, but just about every single Lurker here that's made it into this base has been irradiated. Look, we've got one lurker under this Dark Swarm actually able to fight here that's actually still alive. He's gonna get up here into the third, and he might actually kill this base. It's possible. However, there's just no fourth in sight for Sulky's. Not taking that. There's another base over there on the left side. So many SCVs are going down, actually. That was a lot of SCV losses. That lurker on the low ground dealing a lot of damage. And now Royal's pulling back. He's keeping his base alive. +2/+2 is done now for Sulky. So he did have those upgrades on the way, though they were a little bit late. They finally do kick in. And now the Hydras are quite strong with that +2/+2, able to cut through these Marines pretty quickly. The DPS is very high. A Defiler comes up, but doesn't quite make it here. Throwing down the Dark Storm finally, but still out of range of this new third base. I guess this is the fourth base here. Another Defiler coming up. Can he actually get on top of this base with his Defiler? Drop a good Dark Swarm, and Plague would maybe be able to break this base with that. Ooh, this is going to be really close here. Can he actually get this? The Defiler going to get right up here in the front. Nice Plague. Plus the Dark Swarm here. The Hydras, actually, they don't have any backup to fight against the Firebats. Uh-oh. Firebats ripping these Hydras apart here under Dark Swarm. No lurkers to back them up. Finally going to make some lurkers, but not able to do anything with that Dark Swarm. Here are the... can he pick off some of these? Yes, yes, yes. Get the Science Vessels. Nice job. We'll lose a few Hydras to these Firebats, but picking off a couple of those Science Vessels is straight up value. Fourth base trying to come up again, but not able to come up here with that group of Royal heading up towards that top left. He's going to break that base once again. And Sulky is pretty all in here, trying to break this spot. Some Marines there killing off a ton of Lings as they run by. This is crazy. Finally going to try and break this base once again. Can he actually get up here and do it? There's a tank in the background. Two of these bunkers here in the front. A lot of the SCVs are going down. These are all the SCVs from the main and natural surrounding this bunker, trying to keep it alive. It's doing a great job with the Firebat inside of killing off lurkers and Lings as they run up here under Dark Swarm. It can still hit the units with the splash from Firebats, but another lurker gets up here under Dark Swarm. There's almost nothing left for Sulky, but similarly, there's very, very little left for Royal. He takes his third base once again. He's going to transfer SCVs over to that location. He had a few left over. Siege tanks here out in the front. He's going to try to hold that base as best he can. These two Defilers going to be irradiated down here and finished off. All of them are plagued right now, so there's... Oh! Consume and Plague on the rest of these fresh vessels. Great move there by Sulky to get the maximum value out of those last few units. And look at this. Another base is going to go down here at the bottom left. A single Marine working on that hatchery. Going to be able to pick that off. Fourth base here in the top center. And I think he can get this up, guys. Royal just doesn't have much left. He's down here at 90 supply to 77. Send some Lings down to the bottom. Not going to be able to save that hatch. Firebats are there to reinforce, but this hatch will be saved. And a fresh gas finally coming up. Ooh, picks off a dropship as well. Nice job with those Scourge. Don't know how much was in that, but he does manage to pick that off. It's a big pick off. Things are about to get really, really crazy here in this game with Royal mining off of one base. Sulky similarly mining off of just one gas here in a moment. The other gases are going to be completely mined out. That means they're only going to be returning 2 gas per trip. I believe that's right. 2 or 3. I don't remember. Mined out Vespian gas. Is it 2? Is it 3? I don't remember. Anyway, not a lot of gas coming from those 3 bases. Only the 4th base will be fully mining on that gas. A fresh gas finally for Sulky's economy. Royal gonna move out and start to try and take this central area once again. He's got another command center being built up, but I think that Sulky will take this opportunity to initiate an attack here on the third base. This is not very well defended. Can just run straight up this ramp with the Defiler on the backside. Going to throw down some Dark Swarms and defend this army as it runs up this ramp. Where are the lurkers here? Most of them have been irradiated, it looks like. He is forcing this command center to lift, and he might be able to pick this off. He's going for it. Can actually get the pick off here. He will. Command center does fall, and back to one base. Royal. Ooh, he's got a lot over here as well to defend his fourth base. Royal's going to come across the map with a bunch of these Marine and Medic, but with the Dark Swarm and the Lurkers here, you just cannot come across here. He needs to bring up the tanks right now. Here's the Dark Swarm. Lurker's going to run forward and dive underground. Does he have another Dark Swarm? He does. Picks off more of these science vessels. He's diving forward once again. Oh, can he actually finish this base off? I don't think so. Maybe with the next round of units running forward with these lurkers, getting it under this Dark Swarm. Dark Swarm doesn't have a lot of time left. That lurker on the left is out of the Dark Storm, so only one manages to stay alive there. He's only got 2 science vessels left. So many of them have gone down to the Plague, and the Hydra's gonna dive forward with this. Oh my god, the Defiler dropped the Dark Swarm there. More lurkers gonna be added on, sent forward. Another Defiler here in the back. He's gonna break this base. Royal, nothing he can do about it. Picking off another science vessel would be huge. Just going after the tank, though. That's also a great pick. More lurkers being morphed here, and the Defilers, they cannot be dealt with. This is it, guys. GG Royal takes it. Royal taps out, excuse me. Sulky takes the game. Oh my god, what a back and forth there. An excellent game by Royal. But a great performance by Sulky in the late game with the Hydra plus Defiler. Able to take a game that honestly looked unwinnable. Sitting there with 3 base versus a 4 base Terran, he manages to bring it back. What a comeback. What an insane game. And an excellent game too here in this week of KCM. On to game number 3 here. Sulky versus Mini. Mini down in the bottom right of Largo, the red Protoss player. And down here in the bottom left, we've got Sulky, the blue Zerg. I am so impressed with Sulky after that last game. Just incredible tenaciousness displayed by him. Able to bring that game back in a crazy deficit. Absolute crazy deficit. Able to take that game. It really shows you how powerful the Hydralisk Defiler style is in the hands of a pro player. They can make miracles happen. Absolute miracles happen with that composition. Of course, the plagues on those science vessels and marines were just incredibly effective. And of course, just getting into the right position. It's tough to defend as Terran in all those different locations at the same time. A few things go differently. A few moves are different there for Royal, and he could have absolutely won that game. But next up, we've got Mini versus Sulky. We do have some early links coming across the map here. Gonna be connecting with this Zealot immediately. So 6 links can absolutely wreck this Zealot. He's gotta try to run away here, not get surrounded, maybe tuck himself into a corner if possible. He managed to pick off 1 link. Getting pushed up against the wall here. Does manage to slip away. Can get behind these minerals, but there's not a lot of space behind these, or there's a little bit too much space, excuse me, behind these minerals to actually carefully tuck your Zealot and get a good trade. So he does the best he can. He picks off about 2 lings there. And now he's got this wall coming up at his natural. Pop out a couple zealots here and try to hold off these few lings that are heading across the map. Third base going to be up for Sulky now, getting his gas as well. Everything has been revealed here for Mini. He is still microing the marine, or excuse me, the probe around inside of that main base. Guys, I'm still stuck in that second game. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous game. But we've got to move on here. Nexus is coming up. Oh, man. This happens to me a lot on the stream as well. Just playing a crazy, ridiculous game. And then as the next game is starting, I'm still thinking about the previous. End up making a bunch of mistakes and losing the next game as well. But, a Hydraless Den is coming up here. Alright, so Sulky gonna be putting on the pressure here. He's trying to keep this probe from scouting, but that is on a mineral mine command, so runs right through the lings there and spots out that Hydraless Den. Jig is up here for Sulky. Still doesn't even have his third finish yet. There it is, finishing up now, and the Zealot's just heading across the map. Generally, you don't expect the Protoss player to send the Zealots across right now. He's waiting for these lings to come up, I think. Okay, he's actually sending his Zealots back now. Gonna get in the wall and keep building a bunch of these, oh my goodness. Actually, so many lings just popped out. That might have been a really smart play by Mini, actually. He sends those 4 zealots out and forced Sulky to build a bunch of lings. So now all these lings are here, and Sulky, I mean, you can't break this with lings. There's 2 cannons behind like 6 zealots. That's just never gonna happen. So that was a pretty smart move there, I think, by Mini. And now there's really no choice here for Sulky. I think he's just got to try to drone out of this. Adding on a whole bunch of drones here. Oh, I don't know. Is this going to be Hydra or drone? We're going to find out in a second. I think it's Hydra. Yeah, Hydras are popping out here. He's going to come across the map and put pressure there on the front. Try to pick off that forge and gateway. I don't think he can get much more than that, though. The lings are going to be helpful in holding back the zealots, but not much more than that. Zealots are starting to push out here a little bit. Hydras are coming up. 3 cannons are present. That's enough to hold off this number of Hydra, and I don't see any more being added on, so I think that Sulky will be transitioning out of this. Gonna be adding on more drones. Yeah, you're never gonna get through here because Mini is going to get his Corsair out very, very soon. He will be able to go across the map and spot the number of Hydras that are popping. And he should be able to keep himself alive. Some Zealots come out. The Lings come up to counter. Picks off quite a few of those Zealots, but loses every Ling. Or almost every Ling. Has not managed to pick off this wall just yet. Going after that gateway and the... Okay, more Hydras coming. Hopefully Mini can spot that. He's only got 4 cannons here, so once this gateway goes down, you might be able to dive here with the Lings as well, just to buffer for the Hydras, push the Zealots back, and just dive on these cannons. Where are the additional Hydras? They're just in the back, arriving now. He's going to go for it here, I think. He's got the additional Hydras there on the right-hand side. Here he goes, bringing the Lings forward, going to try to block these Zealots. Going after the cannons, some of the Zealots run forward here with the speed finally finishing up. They're going to be able to dive on this, and this is the end of the aggression from Sulky, and I think this is going to be the end of Sulky's game here. Mini is able to push everything back. He doesn't have many drones at that third base. All of these Hydras are going to go down. Mini's production is ramping up right now. Look at the lack of drones here at the third. He's got nothing. And now the Corsairs can come back and clear out these 2 Overlords here in the front. This is horrible for Sulky. I've been in a position similar to this when your bus just doesn't work out. You've got such a limited economy. You're going to be losing these overlords at the front, so then you have to reproduce overlords at home rather than drones. You cannot drone up right now because you need to produce hydras to fend off these zealots that are coming, but it's just going to get worse and worse with your economy so far behind. GG is called. He taps out. I do not blame him for that tap out. He was in such a rough position there, and as Soul Key gets eliminated, Mini takes down the first Zerg player. Now on to our next match, Mini versus Speed here on Lemon. A crazy new map with a very, very tiny natural, or main base, excuse me, large natural, and double gas here in the main. No gas at the natural, in fact. And I learned something very interesting about this map recently, is that the gas geysers here are actually split gas, with one of them having a large amount of gas and the other having a small amount, just like Optimizer, I guess. This one on the left side must be the one with the majority of the gas. I think it's like 5,000, 1,000 or something like that. I haven't checked out the map just yet, but apparently it is split gas, so you cannot just mine like two regular gas geysers there in the main, which does make some of these matchups very hard. I think it's the same at the third base as well. And that's tough. That's very tough. We're on cross map positions here this time, so I'm very curious to see how this one is going to go. With being all the way across the map here, it's going to be harder for the Protoss to add on that pressure in the early game quite as well as we've seen in the past. All of the games so far we've seen on Lemon here in the KCM have ended very, very quickly. We haven't really seen any go up to a good number of bases and go into the late game. So hopefully we're going to see that today. Speed here, he's going to be blocking off this. Probe does manage to get by and will spot the build. The Nexus is coming up on the side of Mini. Miss Probe will be trapped here in the main, going to be killed off by the Marines here. Not much space to move around in this base, so it does get sniped down. However, all of the information has been revealed here. He's fine. And that was in Nexus first for Mini, so Mini going to be in a good position here to take an economic advantage here in the early game, whereas Speed, he's going to be going for broke here. Double factory follow-up is going to be the answer here to this early Nexus. This is not looking good for Speed. Very, very not good. Quick Nexus is amazingly strong against double factory. You just have so many units popping out here off this two gateways. You can add on another gateway, you can get into your robo and all that stuff, but you're just going to have a glut of units in the early game that should be able to easily hold off the two factory play. Now we'll see what Speed can do with this. Maybe he's going to pull a bunch of workers with this as well and try to make it happen, but if this doesn't work, he is going to be 100% dead. So he's got to keep this a secret. He's got to hide the fact that he's going for this right now. And with this Zealot coming up, okay, it's not going to try to run by or anything. It just spots the tank. That's it. Going to be pushed back here. So he doesn't know about the second factory, but as long as Mini just continuously produces Dragoons, he should be fine against this. Get up there into an Observer and eventually get a Reaver out, and he should be able to hold on against everything. Still no command center here. Like I said, he's going all in, adding on some mines for those vultures as well. Right into robotics, in fact. So he's going to get a very quick Reaver out here. I like that play. Of course, it might be hard to deal with the mines, but at least you're going to have the Reaver out here very early to deal with this overwhelming number of Marines. Whoa, this probe scout is huge. Gets into the natural there and spots no Nexus. Going to throw down a shield battery immediately. Very smart play here from Mini. Of course, these mines are not going to be able to... You can't really deal with these mines right now. No way to hold those mines back, and the range is not done yet. So maybe delayed that range a bit to actually get this Reaver out a little bit quicker. Here comes the shuttle. Gonna drop on top of here. Oh, no. Kills his own mines, so that's not gonna work anymore. He's gotta focus down this shuttle, man. That's a lot of Marines. You can kill the shuttle very, very quickly. Here comes the mines in the front, trying to lay them down. Some of the Marines getting picked off here, but the tanks still haven't taken any damage. Buffering very nicely for those tanks there. Mine's gonna come up in the front. Can he actually get a mine hit? No mine hit there. All of the mines being picked off expertly here by Mini, but he's being pushed back. There we go. Finally a mine hit. Oh, mine actually does connect there on that Reaver as well. He kills off one Dragoon as it pops out of the gateway. Finally, the Reaver's going to be up here, going to pick off these two Vultures. But there's so many mines here in the front. He's going to try to pick off this Robotics. If he gets the Robotics, the mines will have... He'll have no way to kill the mines here. Going after the Robotics. Sieged up. Oh, one Reaver shot going to land on this siege tank. It's almost dead. Oh, the second one going to pick off that siege tank. Only one siege tank remains here. Can he get one more shot on this? Oh! Oh, the tank's still alive. The tank is still alive with 2 HP. He's going to drop one of these Dragoons on top of the tank. Get the shot off. Nicely done. Picks off that tank. More tanks are going to be on the way, though. Does he actually have any rallied up? Or is it just pure Vulture on the way? I think it looks like pure Vulture. Some of these Dragoons being moved. Oh! Huge mine there. Big connection. Picks off 2 Dragoons. This Reaver takes a mine shot as well, but it's not going to be finished off. More and more Vultures just heading across the map. Speed does have the money to actually build a command center now, but will he be able to pull out of this tailspin his economy is in right now? With this Nexus still up here, he's going to be so far behind as this game goes on. He managed to get in there and kill quite a few probes. He managed to kill quite a few Dragoons as well, but this is still an incredibly rough position for our Terran player. He's going to come in for some more probe kills. Can he get a few more and try to even out this economy? Another big mine connection there. Mini getting a little bit... what would you say? Just getting a little bit impatient there. Not waiting for this observer to pop out, and he takes another shot. Oh. Getting a few more probes here. Speed with the micro on the Vulture. Able to kill off even more probes. Finally going to lose that Vulture. But that was a good amount of economic damage overall. We've got the Wraith out as well. Very nice play there from Speed to follow up here. He knows that this Reaver shuttle would love to come across the map now and actually deal some counter damage. So having that Wraith out, going to deny this shuttle from moving across the map. If it does come out here, he might end up picking that off. That would be huge. Here is the first observer going to come out to the front, help to clear some mines and push across the map for Mini. Where is that shuttle? I guess it's back inside the natural, being very safe with that. Gonna add on some more mines here around the map. Gonna make sure that Mini's not snagging any additional bases here under the nose of Speed. Reaver there in the back base, making sure that no drop comes through. We've got Wraith Cloak coming up, so Cloak gonna be a very interesting follow-up for Speed, who's already very low on tank count. I'm surprised that he thinks he can afford that at this moment. Especially on just one gas mining, trying to go Cloak, building tanks, and building Wraiths. How the heck can you possibly afford that? I don't know, but he's got a couple of Wraiths here so far. He's still building Wraiths. He's getting that Cloak. He could end up picking off the... Oh, spotted here. Mini sees the Cloak. And he sees the starport ticking away there. That's really too bad for Speed, who wants to make this a surprise, but it's not going to be. Hiding in the, can't really see inside here, but the Wraiths are going to come up and pick off this shuttle. Shuttle, pick up the shuttle. Oh, he gets it. He's going to kill both of the Reavers, but the Reavers get some good shots off. Speed is pushing across the map now. Can he actually end this game right here, right now? There's no shuttle, there's no Reavers. But a lot of Dragoons are out here. The Vultures are going to get picked off. The Mines are not going to get their connections. And building an engineering bay here in the front, that's pretty crazy. Tanks are being set up, but a lot of them will get picked off as they run forward. Focusing on the tanks here is going to pick off 2 or 3 at least, but most of the Dragoons do go down. Wraith is still alive here, losing some probes in the natural. Gonna have to pull those back, get away from these Vultures here, and the tanks are right outside of the natural, gonna be banging away at this Nexus now. Running up inside the main is gonna deal some more economic damage. I think Speed just moments away from winning this. What a crazy game this has been. Cannot hit this Nexus right now, but he is hitting a lot of these pylons, limiting that oh my god, the supply there. And also this shuttle gonna go down. No observer here. Finally, the observer does come back and saves the shuttle just barely. That was extremely close. But can Mini break through all of these mines? Can he scan and kill off the observer? That would be a massive pickoff, considering how many mines are between this army and the tanks there. Nice shot from the Reaver, picking off a couple of those Vultures here before the fight comes through. And ooh, so close. He tries to get the last shot on that shuttle, but just barely. Not 12 HP on that. Got to be very, very careful with that Reaver. And I think that Mini is going to end up dying here unless he gets some sort of amazing play with that Reaver. Some beautiful shots with that Reaver. Even then, it's going to be very hard. Mini trying to take another base, looks like, down at the bottom left. I don't know if that's going to be successful, but it's definitely not going to be scouted here, I think, where Speed is just completely focused here on attacking into the main. He's hitting these gateways here in the natural of Mini, slowly pushing forward here. What the heck is going on? Bunch of production facilities being thrown down in the bottom left there for Mini. Pretty good shots with the Reaver. Needs to get more than this though. Gonna pick off that SCV. Slowing things down here. Picks up his Zealots as well. Gonna deal some damage to this Reaver with the Wraith, but loses one of those. Now the tanks are crawling into the natural base here. They're getting further and further along. All of them are on siege. This is the moment. This is the time to go. Here we go. Diving forward here. Mini gonna drop a bunch of stuff on these. Not too much though. Actually, there's almost nothing coming out of that shuttle, and GG is called. Speed takes down Mini. Definitely an upset here in this game. KCM, guys, always a surprise. And Terran actually doing very well this week for once. Picking off both Mini and Noob there. That's oh, actually, excuse me, no, Roll didn't win that game. Okay, Speed actually takes down Mini. The first win for Terran. See if they can carry it on into the future. Up next, we've got Speed versus Queen. We're on destination here. Speed at the 12 o'clock in the north side of the map, and Queen down here, the 6. Gonna be throwing down an engineering bay in Queen's natural. Gonna pluck that hatchery. That's getting a lot of HP as well. Almost half HP on that engineering base. Really gonna slow down this natural base take, and Queen doesn't even have a spawning pool yet. He's pulling all the drones. Oh my goodness, this is super effective right now. That is crazy how many drones are being pulled here to actually kill this engineering bay. There's no really easy base to take besides this one, so I understand the reaction here from Queen, but I haven't really seen this interaction much. He does take his natural now. That was a lot of lost mining time though, and here we go with Speed taking his quick command center. I'm really cheering for Speed here actually, guys, because he is the underdog, and also picking off or taking down Mini is a very impressive feat. That was a crazy game on Lemon. I think that's the first Terran we've seen win on Lemon in the TVP matchup here in KCM. So very impressed with his play so far. I think this is a great strategy here to open with against Queen, and if it ends up working out, if he ends up surviving here with the early command center, he's going to be in a great spot. His command center is very, very early, and the hatchery is late, so he should be feeling very, very nice here. Everything's going his way. He's dictating the pace of this game, similar to the last one. Just really dictating that pace. And we'll see if he can take a win against the legend here, Zero, aka Queen. A very formidable Zerg player. And after this, only Soma remains, so it'll be very interesting if we could see a Speed victory. Now, what can I say about this map, Destination? Well, it's been around for quite a long time, but it hasn't been in the map pool for a equally long period of time. Well, that doesn't really make sense, but what else can I say about this? We've got a natural here that's kind of pointed towards the center, but it is in a very protected area. There's a double bridge that heads into the main part of the map. It's one of those elongated maps. It's very, very long, but quite narrow. There's a base behind the natural expansion, which is accessible there through the third base on the left side. It is also accessible by mining out this small patch of minerals behind the natural, so, or behind the base there in the main. You can mine that out and get over into that fourth base. It's also very easy to set up tanks on the other side of that wall and fire over the wall into the natural. I remember this map being very annoying to play TVT back when I was a Terran player. There's a ton of different locations where tanks can be dropped and become extremely annoying, especially before you've mined out those mineral patches in the back. Got some links coming across the map, but this is a follow-up with the Vulture follow-up here for Speed. He's coming across the map with the Vulture, so the creep colony thrown down immediately here. He'll have to hold off for a few seconds with Lings in order to get that sunken colony up and defend this properly. Is he going to be in time in the place? Yes, he is here with the drone and the few Lings. Going to block that off. Nicely done. Keeping that out of the base is extremely important, as that Vulture could just kill infinite Lings if it manages to make it into the main. So he keeps it out of the natural, keeps it out of the main, and it keeps himself alive in this game. Queen got a good amount of money in the bank. He does throw down a third hatch, it looks like. Is that a third hatch? Yeah, it looks like a third hatch there in the main. So 3 hatch play versus Mech. Going to be the matchup for today. Love to see it. We've seen a wide range of play throughout this series, throughout this week of KCM. We've already seen Bio play. Now we're going to get Mech here. I'm interested to see Queen's reaction. So far it's been a bunch of mutas being popped out. If I know Queen, and I've watched plenty of his tutorial videos, he's going to be getting the armor on the Mutalisk now. And he will be getting into Hydra very soon here. As soon as he clears out the map, gets his third base down, he should be throwing down that Hydralisk Den. And we're likely to see a lot of counter-attacking action coming from Queen this game. He's going to want to evade this large army of Terran mech, keep his Mutalisk active on the map, and then counterattack with Hydra Muta as the mech army moves out. That is the typical way to play this style against mech in the mid and late game. You just don't want to actually fight that army. You want to stay away from the tanks and the Goliaths. Just allow them to come across the map and fight against your sunken colonies. Gives you time to rebuild your army and also to attack up into the natural. Try to break the main. Very, very effective way to play against this. Can be hard to pull off, but I think Queen is absolutely capable of doing it. So he's here still harassing in the natural. I don't see any Hydralisks out just yet, but he will need some Hydras here if he wants to be able to hold off. He is going to add on some more sunken colonies, but this third base about to come up. He's sending a drone over here. He needs to get a couple of sunkens in this location if he wants to be able to hold on with a lack of... Oh, not able to see that high ground. Look at that. Beautiful positioning on the Overlord to keep that Overlord alive in a great spot for watching the entire map. There's the first creep colony coming down. Sunkens are on the way. A lot of Mutas are out right now and no Hydra, so just pure Mutalisk and sunken defense. Let's see how this goes. Fighting up on the high ground. He's going to take the high ground on the left-hand side here. Try to mount that high ground as much as possible before actually attacking into the sunken, backing off just for a little bit here, looking for some kills on these drones. Not able to get any. He can actually hit the hatchery, though. That is super annoying that he's able to hit that hatchery from that angle. Another base coming down in the bottom left for Queen. He's going to use those drones to the best of his ability, but he needs more here. He needs something else to actually deal with these Goliaths. Two Sunkens on the high ground here. The second Sunken's about to finish. Is he going to actually engage this and try to fight it? Ooh, Vultures running by up into the main. This is a huge moment here. He's fighting with the Goliaths at the same time. 3 Vultures in the main. Going to be picking off a ton of drones. Queen notices it now. He's trying to pull his drones away. He's got a single Mutalisk here. It's not enough. So many drones are going to go down. So many drones have already gone down. Almost every drone in the main. 5 kills on this, 6 kills on that. Every drone is going to fall. Damn, that was a lot of damage from Speed. Holy crap. That was massive. Even though he lost all of his Goliaths there, he is still going to be 100% fine after massacring that drone line. It's going to take a long time for Queen to rebuild that drone count to get his third base up and running as well. The armor is done here for Queen, but he still has not transitioned. He's just building drones right now. It's going to dive on some of these Goliaths, but the Goliath production is insane right now. There's no addition of further tech here from Speed. He is just going straight up Goliath, even adding on more factories here in the back. The Goliath is just never going to end. It's never going to end. There's going to be so many Goliaths being pumped out here. How many factories is that? 3, 4, 5, 6 facts? 6 fact Goliath. There's not going to be any +2 armor or attack coming for Speed. It's just going to be a massive Goliath follow-up attack here with a couple of tanks to try and pick off these sunken colonies before he actually does the engaging. This will be incredibly hard for Queen to hold on against. He is getting another hatch here. He's going to go up to 4 bases. But all of this droning that Queen's been doing is buying a lot of time here. It's slowing down his army supply by quite a lot. The army supply that he has right now is very, very low. Only a couple of, maybe one group of Mutas. No Hydralisks at all, and a couple of sunken colonies is just what he is living off of right now to try and keep himself alive while he drones up here onto those 4 bases. Another run by, doesn't end up working out for Speed. Gets blocked there. Some Lings are out now, but still no Hydra. Still no Hydra. What is Queen doing? He adds on another gas here at the 3rd base. My goodness, another base coming up here for Queen. How is he going to survive this attack, man? Trying to grab a 5th base as Speed pushes out on the map. 84 supply to 112. Armor 2 should be on the way here for the Midas. And it is finished. Okay, upgrade advantage now for Queen. With Armor 2, these Goliaths are going to be doing much, much less damage than they would otherwise. Forcing some of these mech units to pull back a little bit. He's coming in with the Vultures once again, dealing more economic damage. This is economic damage that Queen can absolutely not afford to sustain at the moment. He's lost so many drones. Are you kidding me? So many are going down. That's crazy. Good God. Speed is so good with those vultures. Now he's coming up across the map. He's going to initiate this attack. Sunken colonies are here, but the tanks are about to arrive. Can he actually dive forward and kill these tanks? I think he can with this number of meter. Just dive straight on the tanks and just snipe them. I think that's got to be the plan here, right? You cannot allow these sunken colonies to go down. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting pure Muta versus pure Goliath, and I don't think that works out in the favor of the Mutas there. So he's looking around for some reinforcements. He doesn't see any, and all these Sunkens have just about fallen down. Can he actually hold this? Queen buying a little bit more time with some more Sunkens coming up. He picks off some reinforcing Goliaths here, but the Goliaths are now moving into the natural. Ooh, he's taking a big fight here. Maybe he can fall back onto the high ground, mine out that back mineral patch, and transfer workers down to the bottom left. That is a possibility right now. Put some Sunkens on that high ground and just abandon this natural. Oh, this is going to be so rough for Queen, who's now at 103 supplies, adding on creep colonies, but this is too late. He needed to add these on a long time ago. He's taking the fight now from the high ground with the Goliaths. Trying to make it up here onto the high ground, but this is a tough position to try and move your mech army through. Only about 5 Goliaths, 6 Goliaths are fighting. Now more are actually joining the fight. All of these Goliaths are firing. He's going to let some more Goliaths come up onto the high ground and then take the fight once again. Picking off quite a few of these Goliaths, but he's got nothing to actually defend. There's also something going on at the 3rd base. Actually, that's just a floating building, looks like. Queen being pushed up into his main now. So many Goliaths moving up into this location. He's adding on more Sunkens, trying to build them, but again, too late. These Sunkens are too late, and the Goliaths are just eating through these Mutas. There's still quite a few left over. More Sunkens are being made, but there's still tanks here. It's still 3 tanks pushing up. He's going to be able to pick off all of these sunken colonies. The Mutalisks are falling. Nothing left here for Queen, and just a little bit too little too late. Queen taps out, and Speed, with the upset, takes down one of the best players in the sport. Queen, wow, what a match there on Destination. Awesome, awesome game. Okay, on to the next one, guys. We have had some wild games today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining me, guys. The next game we got is Snow versus Speed. And it is on one of these new maps. Let me take a moment here to introduce to you Goodnight up on screen. As you can see, if we're looking up at the top left-hand corner, I guess we'll look at the top right. That's where Snow is spawning right now. There is that very large main base that's typical of these big maps like Polypoid or Circuit Breakers or whatever. It's actually the same map tiles as Circuit Breakers. We come down the ramp here. It is a large ramp. I think it's the largest out of any of the tile sets. So come down that ramp, the space tile set. And we've got our natural base with the gas. A small natural area with a small choke there that comes out onto a high ground with double ramps coming down from that one ramp going into the main area of the map. The other going into this 3rd base. We've got a mineral only 3rd base that has a very small exit into the main, and then also another ramp that goes up onto another high ground. That's just in front of the alternative 3rd base, which is a gas base. That is on a high ground up a small ramp there as well. So much easier base to take and hold. but it is much farther away from your natural, so it can be difficult to move over there and defend. Other than that, we've got a circular middle of the map there with that double gas, traditional double gas in the center. This time it is on high ground though, so it might be a little bit easier to hold. Maybe possibly more like in the late game, we could see more people end up taking that. On some of the other maps, like Circuit Breakers, oh, not Circuit Breakers, excuse me. What was the map with the big base in the main, or in the middle? Two gas. Anyway, most of those maps with the two gas in the middle, it's almost impossible to ever see anyone take those bases because it's just so hard to hold. They're usually on neutral ground or low ground or whatever, so they're not very practical in order to take it. And perhaps on this map it might be possible to see, for example, like a Terran player take that base, put tanks on high ground with bunkers, and try to hold that in maybe a matchup like this or against Zerg or something like that. Anyway, we haven't seen a lot of games on this map so far. We haven't seen any in KCM thus far, so this is kind of a new. It is an ASL map though, so we will see a lot of it in the future, especially if you are watching the ASL. But the first time on KCM, now we've got a Zealot heading up here to start things off. Zealot first by Snow. It's going to be able to push these Marines back. Marines are bouncing off of each other a bit much there. But Snow does back off once he sees the Sim City with the barracks and supply depot next to each other. And he sees the rest of the build as well. He sees that there has been a factory. We're going to have a factory expand coming up. And Snow just going to grab his own Nexus. We should have a relatively normal game here. A normal start to this game, at least, on cross map here on Goodnight. It's going to be hard to end it off really early. This is a very long map, very wide and large map here with many bases. Could end up becoming a new favorite. One of those maps like, what's it called? Shakura's Temple, or Polypoid, or something like that, where it becomes a very standard and fun map to play. I like the look of it so far, and I'm expecting some great macro games here, especially when we do have those crops map positions. Now, this would be a serious feat if Speed was able to take down Snow here. Taking down Queen is impressive enough. Taking down Mini is very impressive as well. But taking down Snow in TVP, that really solidifies you as a very strong Terran player. And potentially one of those Terran players who can take up the mantle and actually carry the Terran race into some sort of victory, which we haven't really seen here in KCM for quite a long time. Feels like Zerg has been incredibly overpowered recently as of late. Of course, Protoss taking a lot of wins in the early season, but Terran's just been lagging behind quite a bit, so we'll see what Speed can do here. I got a good feeling about this, guys. I got a good feeling. Maybe we'll get a Terran victory for once. It hasn't happened for so long. It would be actually a major upset, so especially for someone like Speed. And we still have Light in the background, by the way. Someone who's absolutely capable of pulling something off like an ace, or excuse me, like a all kill as a Terran player. And once, even if Speed loses this, then it'll have to be Snow versus Soma. Then one of those players will be destroyed, and then it'll just be 1v1. Whoever wins that fight versus Light, and that's a good potential for a win for Terran. So I'm feeling pretty good about this one for the Terran race. Got some mines out here on the map. They're being cleaned out by Snow. He spots these Marines and tanks moving up across the map. Gonna be putting on that pressure. hiding a few vultures here. He wants to draw the dragoons out, and the moment that these dragoons move too far outside of this base, he's going to run by with the vultures. He's ready for it. He's ready for it. He's pulling back with the marines and tanks. Not going to take the bait there. Snow falls back with his dragoons, and Speed will fall back with the vultures as well. Now, a robotics facility is on the way here. Reaver going to be coming out soon there. Engineering bay on the way. That's great. Does mean Speed should have turrets up in time to deal with that Reaver. He's getting the mines out everywhere on the map, making sure that no sneaky bases can come out for Snow. Full vision here from Snow getting inside. He sees everything. He's ready for any sort of drop here in the main. Has a good spread of Dragoons all around. Cleaning out these mines. It's going to take the fourth or the third as the mineral only expansion. It is a very close space. By ground, you can get there very, very quickly. So, an easily defendable base. He's also looking over there towards that fourth. Should be taking that on the high ground over there at the 12 o'clock position. An easy base to hold if you do have a bunch of cannons at that location, but so far Snow not taking that. Instead, he's going to check out the top left, looking for what? I don't know. He sent that probe up there. Just taking a look around, scouting things out. Has the probe. Sending it down to the bottom right as well. Maybe he wants to try and sneak a base in that location. The vultures are near, but they're not catching on to the fact that the probe is in that spot. So they will be falling back towards the left side. Reaver is out in the shuttle. He's going to come back, I think, and pick up a second Reaver. May decide to go across the map and actually try to deal some damage now. Try to get some harassment going. There's that second Reaver. We've gotten a shot of Speed space for quite a while here. We're going to dive into the natural. Nicely done. The Reavers are here, so he should be able to stop this with the Reaver. Dropping off the Reaver there. Going to get another one dropped here. Fires the Reaver, but the shot is really glitching out right now. Finally does connect, but wow. 4 kills on that Vulture. Doing a great job with Vultures. In the past 2 games, he's done an amazing job. Picking off a ton of workers and really giving himself a good position. The science facility is done. +2 is being researched now, along with +1 armor. A command center being built here. So getting out the double armory before the command center gets started. Being very cautious. Staying back for a long time. I think Speed is just about ready to begin moving forward, but he needs to add some more turrets here. He needs to make sure that turret ring is complete. There's no room for Snow to try and break in. He takes a shot on the Reaver, but manages to pick off the SCV there, building the turret, slowing this down a little bit. Of course, Speed still has a lot of time before his command center is done. He's adding on some more of those factories as well, getting his production rolling. No 4th base on the way just yet for Snow, but it looks like he's ready to take it at the 12 o'clock. Picking off a probe here down at the 6. Dropping a few more vultures outside of the main. Gonna look for a run by here. Does manage to slip by these Dragoons and will go for some additional probe kills either at this 3rd, 4th, or natural. Base coming up there at the 12 o'clock. 4 vultures here looking for some kills. They do find a location that doesn't have any Dragoons at it. The Zealots here are doing a pretty good job of blocking, but he does manage to slip by. Finally gets on top of these probes. Nice drill there, though. Knocks the vultures on top of the Nexus, and they do end up getting picked off. Now Terran still here right inside his natural base. Gonna be hard to push forward. Looks like unbuildable terrain just outside of the natural there. He can't actually build turrets on that high ground area, but he's added on a lot of factories. He is ready to begin full production As soon as he gets that third base secured, with all of those factories, he can mount a huge attack as the +2 attack and +1 armor do finish up. I believe that will be the timing here for a massive assault from the Terran player. Now, he is pushing slowly out here once again. Doesn't want to lose these Reavers. Keeping the Reavers alive is of utmost importance. Pushing forward slowly yet again. Dropship coming up here towards the natural. There's one cannon. I'm going to fly directly over this cannon here. Starting to add on some mines. Going to drop here. Where are the vultures? There's quite a few probes back here. Oh, this is actually a tank. Siege mode. Ooh, nice pick off there. 4 kills immediately. Loses the dropship, but will pick off another couple of probes, looks like, before that tank goes down. Not bad. Not bad at all from Speed. Living up to his name here. Really moving around the map like crazy. Finally going to push down onto low ground. Hasn't lost any tanks at this front yet. So the Reavers not really doing their job other than just slowing this army down. Now, double shuttle going to fly into the main. Manages to find a small hole where he can slip in here, and the SCVs of Speed are not moving yet. Here we go. Finally moving away. Double tank pops out, and you can pick off one of these Reavers, but now the Reaver's going to be landed right on top of these tanks. Going to pick off one tank. Big fight here in the middle, losing a bunch of vultures. He's focusing too hard on the main base, trying to keep his stuff alive here. Losing a lot of vultures over in this location. Finally does pull back. Reaver's still alive here in the very back part of the main. Will continue to harass and be annoying right now. Speed needs to get his shit together and actually kill this. There's the Reaver being dropped. He's going to get some more kills. Oh, he's going for the armory. No. You cannot kill those armories. Yeah, he will pick off that Reaver finally, but it gets one last nice shot there on the SCVs. A lot of workers being transferred down there. Actually, I think it's a little bit too much, but an attack coming through here in the third. I don't think this will be able to break here, but might be able to pick off a bunch of SCVs. Nice D-Matrix. Keeping this tank in the front alive. And now I think it's time for for Speed to move forward. Snow is going to be trapped by the mines here. Big mine shots. More mines being laid down, and all of these Dragoons will be picked off. Beautiful moves there by Snow, just slaying a ton of Dragoons. He doesn't know about this base in the bottom right yet. Otherwise, he would send a couple of vultures down there to just deny that base, but he's setting his army up, getting his hotkeys in order, and he's just about ready to move across the map and threaten this fourth base. There are a bunch of Templar out though now. He needs to dive on top of this. Kill the Templar, kill the Templar. There we go, going for the Templar, dodging some of these storms, but pretty nice damage overall with the storm. Able to kill off quite a few of these vultures. Laying down mines now. Gonna be getting some good hits on these vultures with the, or on these zealots here with the mines. Also, microing well against this army, picking off quite a few of those zealots with the vultures as well. More gateways, I think, being added in the bottom right for Snow now, and still not sure that Speed actually knows about this yet. He's moving through the middle of the map, but his army is splitting up. Oh my god, okay. Snow did not take that opportunity to dive forward onto the army there, but I think he absolutely could have. Super annoying when you've got your army all finally controlled together, and then your army splits up around some annoying terrain. It's almost what we saw there. He needs to choose one side. Go to the right or go to the left and move through that area as one group. Otherwise, he's going to get split up, and he will end up losing a bunch of tanks. Here comes the army. He's heading down towards the bottom right. Needs to dive forward, kill that Templar. Will focus down the Templar, but a great storm there, dealing a lot of damage to all of those vultures as they run through. Vulture's laying some mines here on the left side. He's chosen the right-hand side to try and break through. We'll see if this ends up going well for him. He still doesn't know about this base down in the bottom right, but he's taking a base at the bottom center here. Dives forward, tries to pick off these Reavers. He kills the shuttle, but the Reaver gets some good shots. Storms here on the tanks as well. This clump of tanks getting absolutely smashed there. He picks off the Observer and will unsiege and start to move forward. He needs to wait for another round of Vultures, though. There's quite a few Vultures being rallied up. Gonna push forward once again. This is a tough attack to actually initiate with properly. He's falling back with these tanks. This is a pretty good engagement for Speed with that D-Matrix tank in the front, eating a lot of that damage, and so many tanks in the back just dealing a huge amount of DPS. Just outside of range of the majority of these tanks, though, Snow takes a good trade with the Reavers, picking off a couple of tanks there. He slowed this down by quite a bit, killed off all of the Vultures as well. He's going to lose this to Science Vessels. That is horrible for Speed. What was he doing with those Science Vessels? Okay, he's got that fourth base almost complete. 121 supplied, though. Maybe he needs to head on back home. I'm feeling a little bit scared for Speed here, who's trying to still push forward, but he just doesn't have the supply right now. 134 against 170. Snow taking another base in the top left. If only Speed had found out about that base in the bottom right, he could have killed it by now. He's heading back home, right? Gonna start to move towards the left side where he sees the army has repositioned. Another army moving over here to the right side. Just a few Dragoons. He's holding the middle. That high ground in the middle is a good spot to have your tanks sieged up. However, it's not allowing Speed to actually attack any of these bases. And Snow is just growing on the map like crazy. Well, we do have +3/+2 now, so late game mech army is operational. Huge army here in the center. So many tanks moving through that area. He's managed to keep that count high throughout most of the game. A attack down here in the bottom center, though. This could be huge. Speed gonna lose a ton of SCVs here. Ooh, shit. That's so many SCVs going down, and the Reaver's gonna get big shots. Okay, a lot of these SCVs will escape. He actually targeted down the turret there instead of... Oh my god, another shot coming through here. Is it going to connect? No, a dud. A dud for Snow's Reaver there. Just barely not able to actually pick that off, but he's slowing... Or he stopped the mining at 2 separate bases, and Snow hasn't been able to... Or Speed hasn't been able to stop mining for Snow in any of these locations. He's gone around the army here. He's going to just come down and attack this base. He's coming in towards the natural as well. There's a DT going to pick off this tank. Finally, he does scan, but it's a little bit too little too late. The Reaver is still banging away at this command center. He's going to kill it. And he's losing all of his tanks here in the natural. He's pulling back with his army now. Going to try and keep himself alive, but he's lost so much. The command center is burning down. The army is coming up. The Reaver is still alive, though. It's going to be picked up and set down multiple more times to deal as much damage as possible. He will eliminate this army and the shuttle and Reaver as well, but man, oh man, that was a great move by Snow, who's now losing the top right base, but or top left base, but he's still got the bottom right. And Speed is just not really mining right now. He's got to get his SCVs back to work and set up some defense down here, for God's sake. Oh, these tanks in the middle being left behind. Fodder for the Zealots and Dragoons that are moving through the middle of the map. Picks those off. It looks like he does lose the Nexus in the top left, but DT is down here, dealing damage, picking off SCVs, stopping this mining once again. All of these vultures get picked. Gonna lose this Reaver? No, he does not. Nice pickup there by Snow. And he's just slowing this down so incredibly much. Another shot from the Reaver. I don't think that got much damage, but nice D-Matrix there, keeping this shit alive. Nicely done He finally does come down to defend, but his army supply has been reduced so much. His SCV count has been reduced in a crazy amount as well, and the army of Snow going to come through here and possibly just break this location. Too many zealots on top of all of these units. The Dragoons with the follow-up just going to crush through these tanks. 70 supplies, 68, losing so much army here. And he cannot defend this base on the high ground. He's going to lose the fourth. He keeps the third for now, but the fourth base going down, I think this spells the end for Speed. Snow just too strong. He will take down this Terran player, it seems like. Speed's still trying to hold on desperately here, but he's lost an insane number of tanks. 59 supply to 158, 100 supply differential. There's no way he can come back as a Terran player against someone like Snow with this large of a supply lead. He's just going to send stuff at you until you eventually give up. And I think that moment is very, very close now. There it is, GG. Speed taps out and Snow is victorious. A win for the Protoss, and we've got only one Zerg player remaining, one Protoss player, and one Terran player left. It's all going to come down to these next two games, guys. We're going to go all the way to Game 8 today. Very, very nice. Let's get into that next game. Okay, we've got Snow versus Soma. Soma down here in the bottom left, blue Zerg player, and down in the bottom right, Snow, our red Protoss. We are here on Revolver. We've seen it before. Let's take another look at the map here. It's a very cool looking map. Plenty of high and low grounds around the center. The center is on high ground as well. We've got a very strange natural here with 4 eggs sort of blocking things off in the front. Leads to some very interesting wall-ins for the Protoss player. We've also got a small bridge coming down into the main and a larger bridge that goes off to the side there down to a third base. Of course, we've also got bases all around the map, so there's plenty of locations to mine from here. And there we go, we're into the game. We've got Soma grabbing his natural base. He's got his hatchery down there. I believe that was a 12 hatch on the opposite side of the map. Snow gonna throw down a forge, it appears. Forge with a gateway over top. He's trying to maybe throw down a pylon here. Go for a cannon rush. That would be crazy. So far, not gonna go for it. Just checking things out in the main of Soma. And getting his Nexus down right away here. Cannon should follow shortly. Alright. Coming in here, gonna take a look at the natural third base on the way for Soma as well. A second probe going to join here, make sure that he can get this gateway down. Gateway does come down, and no lings popping out just yet. The spawning pools should be done. So they will have to throw down this cannon pretty quickly here, but he's delayed it very, very heavily. There we go. First 2 lings pop out. The cannon should be started on the side of Snow. So again, very greedy play here by Snow. You can't actually fit lings through the wall there on the left side. So Snow is completely blocked off on the left-hand side. All he has to do is pop out his Zealot, and he will be able to block over there at the ramp with a Zealot and a couple of probes. He just can't even get up there, but he does throw down the cannon regardless. He's going to be mining his gas as well, and he should have a Cybernetics core on the way here shortly. I wonder if you could get away with not even building that cannon actually at this point. It feels like you could as Snow if you just pop out a Zealot and block the ramp. It takes a long time to break through a gateway and a forge, so you can probably just build a cannon once you see additional links popping out. He's still got this probe alive, but he did put down the cannon just to be safe. It's going to slow down his Cybernetics core and therefore his starport by a little bit, or Stargate by a little bit, but I think it's going to be fine here. His Nexus is up quite quickly, and he's got a full scout going on, still checking out the third base. Stargate's coming up. He knows that there's no Hydra bust or anything like that, so he's just going to be able to power up very confidently here, getting into his gateways and all that rather than adding on additional cannons. And a layer coming up in the natural for our Zerg player. Soma going to get that Spire as well. A good timing there. We might see an Overlord or two go down before the Scourge can pop out and actually stop that, but shouldn't be much more than one or two Overlords. He's already pulled back most of the Overlords across the map, and keeping them at home spread out as well to prevent the Corsairs from finding them easily. I'm gonna lose this scouting probe finally as the Ling speed finishes up, but he did a great job keeping that alive throughout all of that time. Getting the Citadel down. Bunch of pylons here. He's ready to begin adding on his gateways, and everything going very normally, very naturally here in the early game of this kind of strange map, Revolver, but it feels like things have been a little bit more figured out. Of course, we did see a lot of Hydra busts early on in the season on this map. We've seen a lot of like Ling attacks and stuff like that that have broken Protoss players, and then sometimes not broken Protoss players, but now it just feels like everything's been kind of worked out a little bit better, especially in this game, and that both players are able to get very greedy and also keep themselves very safe. So we'll lose an Overlord here, but the Scourge will pop out in just a moment's time, and then the harassment of the Overlords will stop. Good colonies being added on, so seeing these Zealots move out, feeling like a little bit of pressure is coming. Soma is going to have to throw down sunken colonies. He's got a good SimCity at the third base. Two Scourge are out chasing the Corsairs. Another two are heading to intercept. So maybe he can pick off this. Yeah, he does. One Corsair's down. The other is trying to escape right now. It looks like it will. Gonna be able to hit this gas. Hey, look at that. Snow finding a good spot to hit the gas, but unfortunately, mutas pop out, and that means that these Zealots have got to go. No speed just yet, so they will be taking full damage from these. There we go. Finally, the speed does finish, and now they can run away a little bit quicker. Not going to take as much damage from the Mutalists as they run. Going to head on back home. A lot of probes just sitting here idle. 6 probes, so Snow a little bit off with his macro there. We'll see where he wants to take a third, because it's just about time to start to take that. Soma's just adding on a ton of drones right now, droning up super hard, and that is held off that early Zealot timing. He's kept the Corsairs back as well. It's time to take that third base. DT is out on the map. It's been spotted though. Not sure if he's actually aware of that, but there it is now being spotted by the Overlord, so he is 100% aware of that now. He's going to try to run away here, get into a position maybe where he can get some kills, or instead just try to deny bases in the upper left. That's probably the better move. No third base in sight for Snow just yet. He's getting ready for this glut of Scourge that have been produced. You gotta take this seriously. Cannot allow your Corsairs to go down to these. Oh, Scourge. He actually made a Archon back at home. And I'm wondering if he's going to kill that egg and perhaps try to take the third just to the south of here. I guess you could call 5 o'clock base. Seems like it would be a good location to grab next. It is on high ground. Guy's going to start to hit this egg right there. Surprised he wants to go after that egg. I would think that the one at the bottom would be a little bit better of a target, but he's going to kill off that egg, and then now he can actually move and maneuver through that area. is going to kill the other egg as well. So really opening it up here on the left-hand side of these structures here. Move out now with the Archon and the Corsairs. See if he can take a good fight here and actually get this base up. He's going to be losing a Zealot or two. Taking a fight with the Mutas. Going to pull back as the Scourge engage again. But that was a good chunk of damage onto those Mutas. They're getting pretty low. A fourth base on the way for Soma. This is an interesting fourth base location. Just taking up at the top center. That's unlikely to be scouted by Snow, who's now focusing very hard on taking his next base. He's not really going to be paying attention to all of these other random bases around the map. He doesn't have a DT out on the map either right now, so doesn't have anything for scouting. Here comes the Scourge. Nice! Wow, that was a beautiful storm. Oh my goodness, all of the Scourge died. Wow, that was a great trade by Snow. Fantastic. Now we're going to have to see a huge transition into Hydras. It's already underway. We've even got Lurkers coming, but you really want to be able to take out a lot of those Corsairs with all of the Scourge and potentially even pick off some Templar, but the Storm was amazing, hit so many Scourge, and then the rest of the Scourge came in kind of a little bit late and just got annihilated by these Corsairs, so that was not a great trade whatsoever. We've still got that Templar here, we've still got the Archon, and the majority of the Corsairs survived. So this is looking great for Snow. He's got the third base up, he needs to hold this though. A Robotics is up, but is there a... Yes, there is an observatory. Where are the observers? There they are, coming out now. The Templar does get picked off, and there are a lot of Hydras here. Lurkers as well, but this is so many Zealots. Zealots are just going to be able to run over this army, completely surround and kill the Lurkers, and he will be able to pick off this... Okay, the Lurker's just going to unburrow and run away. Safe for now. Snow keeps the third base alive and his hopes in this game. He is very far ahead in that supply now. He's still got all of the Corsairs, so he can't really engage here as Soma right now because there are some DTs. You're not going to be able to snipe too many observers either because the Corsairs are just going to wipe out the Overlords. They're reducing your vision. And it's coming in now, going to harass a little bit, but it's time to transition into Dragoons. He needs a full Dragoon, Templar, and Zealot army in order to actually fight this. Too many Lurkers here, just going to eat these Zealots up, so he's coming out and actually fighting with the Hydras. This is an okay trade if there's no Lurkers in the mix. You can actually fight with the Hydras a little bit here. But it's not the best. Now he's sending some Zealots around the map. He's going to look for that fourth base. He doesn't know that there's a fourth up at the top center. That's a hidden base still. And it doesn't seem like Snow's going to find that for a little bit here. He's going to run up the ramp and actually kill possibly this Nexus, but... Or, excuse me, possibly this hatchery, but... He doesn't know about this base up here. Still mining, not much mining, mind you, but it is still up, and that's fine. That's great for Soma, who's now gonna pick off these Zealots here in the top corner. Of course, they are gonna trade. All right, do have that +1 armor. +1 attack is finished as well. +2 armor should be on the way here. And that'll allow Snow to trade a lot better against the Hydralisk with the Zealots. Of course, it's still going to come down to the positioning to the army comp. There we go. Finally spotting this base. The Zealot wanders his way up here and he sees everything. Going to be throwing down a lot of Sunkens here. Gotta keep this base alive right now. Either that or go for a massive counterattack. Either way, it's going to be tough. He sends out a drone and spots this army coming towards the base up here. Sunkens are not finished. Hydras are getting in position. Lurkers are being made, but the Zealots are already here. The Dragoons following up, and the Templars are about to arrive. Big groups of Hydras slicing through these Zealots, and a counterattack going to come through. Can he actually break the base of Snow while this is all going down? It seems like he will lose the space over here, but can he break this location? I don't think so. High Templar with a bunch of cannons, and no way, Jose, you cannot break that base. That is very, very rough stuff for Soma. He's going to lose this location, and his counterattack was foiled. Maybe he can at least get the consolation prize of surrounding this army in the top corner and finishing it off. He's coming up with some Hydras on this location, but clumping up and getting stuck on top of each other. Very annoying. He's going to get up this ramp. The Storm on the ramp. Very strong. Storm in the back. Very strong as well. Nice job picking all these off. Kills the eggs as well. So using 2 Storms there on that ramp to just annihilate the army of Soma, and he will run back with the majority of those dragons. Gonna get home and save those. Nicely done. Still has all of these Corsairs alive, by the way. That's crazy. Those are going to be useful for the rest of this game. Flying around, checking things out, looking for expansions, picking off overlords here and there. If you really want to, as the Zerg player, spread your overlords out around the map to get vision of exactly where your Protoss opponent is moving at all times. But when there's still Corsairs flying around, you can't really do that. You got to keep your overlords together with a bunch of Hydras so that they can't be picked off easily. And that means that you won't have great vision on the map. You won't really know where your opponent is moving at all times, and that can be tough. Got Snow taking a 4th base here. Oh, DT sneaking through. Does he see it? Does he see it? Oh, this DT is being so stupid. Okay, finally it's gonna get some kills here. Wow, 4 kills, 5 kills, oh, 6 kills. 7 kills, 8 kills, no way. Oh, that's so painful. I think someone's gonna lose this, guys. Damn, that is so rough. Is he gonna lose this? No, he can't be losing that hatchery. Okay, he keeps the hatchery alive at least. He will get back to mining there at the 4th base, but it's 4 base versus 4 base here. Never a good situation for the Zerg player. He's setting up his lurkers out here in the middle of the map. He's got his hive finish. Crack upgrades should be done as well, so those links are much more useful now. Can send them at the Protoss army and try to pick off units. Try to pick off buildings as well. He could go for a drop. There's plenty of options here for Soma, but the economy situation is just not looking good. He's trying to take another base over there at the natural location of the top left, but does he have the resources to actually hold that? Does he have the ability to actually keep that alive? I'm not so sure. Lurkers are moving into position. He's got the Defilers now. As soon as you throw down the Dark Storm, the Protoss knows exactly where to storm, so just gonna throw down storms right inside those Dark Storms and annihilate those Lurkers, unfortunately. No plague here just yet for Soma, so he's just going to be throwing down more Dark Storms, trying to fight with the Lings. Crackling versus Zealot right now, but only +1 armor is done for the Lings, so without that +2 armor, these Zealots are going to 2-shot the Lings, even under Dark Storm, it doesn't matter. And takes a pretty good trade here, now coming up with the Hydra. And try to focus down some of these dragons. Lurkers are coming up as well, but Storms being blanketed down on those units. He is bringing up a lot more Lings here from the bottom side. This is a desperate defense here from Soma. A lot of Hydras on the bottom side, but I think this is over. All of the reinforcing units have been picked off. Only a few Lurkers remaining. He will pick off these Templar, which is nice. Gets one last Storm off, though. And everything going to fall back for Snow. So, desperate defense. An almost unstoppable attack there. But he does manage to stay alive. 97 supply to 171. How is he holding on right now? I don't think he can do it for much longer. It's going to be remaking those Lurkers. He's got another base there in the top left. But Snow's going to take yet another base here in the top right. Continue to extend this game out. And half split map situations Protoss is at a serious advantage in those situations. You can just produce so many Archons. You can get into crazy tech like Reaver. You can do all kinds of different stuff to make it incredibly difficult for the Zerg player to win, to trade efficiently, and eventually you will wear them down. So Snow not taking the game right away here, but setting himself up into a position that he really can't end up losing, as long as he doesn't make any big mistakes, as long as there's nothing crazy like a base trade or something like that. If a bunch of drops make it into the main and he kills off all those buildings, that can make things crazy. But if we have this map just getting split in half, I don't think that Snow's going to lose that fight. Well, we've got Snow diving in here with some drops. He's going to bring 4 DTs along with a bunch of Corsairs to pick off these Overlords and keep the Hydras at bay here. Does almost pick off this oh my god, he picks off the spawning pool. Yikes, that is painful. Bunch of units going down here in the main as well. Overlords are going to come up, but he's going to lose a ton of Overlords to clear this. All these Overlords are going to go down. He's holding position on them to make sure they take as little damage as possible. Finally does get all of the DTs down, but he's just not in position here, and Snow has moved his entire army over here during this time. Lurkers are in the middle of the map. They're not in this location, and he's got a Nidus here, but he's got no creep, and he's just going to dive directly on this Nidus, kill that off, and that's going to be that. GG, man. Oh, God. Snow. Nice moves there. Distraction in the main. And just lost track of that army for a moment. It takes so much APM to stop that. To stop the DTs from killing every single unit and building in your main base. And during that time, Snow was able to move his entire army into a location that Soma was not expecting. And just crack through that 4th base. 5th base area. That was a great move by Snow, but I really feel for Soma there. Been in that situation many times with drops going off in your main, and you're trying to keep track of the base of the army. You've got to move your lurkers to always respond to where they're going, but it takes so much APM. It's crazy. Even this guy wasn't able to keep up with it. So now I don't feel so bad. Anyway, guys, we've got a final game here. It's going to be Snow versus Light. That last PVT for you to get into that final game. Okay, here we go. Getting into our final game, Snow versus Light. We've got Snow down here in the bottom right, Light in the top center. We are, of course, on Ascension. Grabbing Nexus first here. Snow taking a risk. Going to get that early Nexus out. See if he doesn't get punished for it. Barracks coming up in the front. We've got gas as well for Light, so not in the greatest position to punish. We'll see how long it takes him to actually scout this out. It seems like the SCV moving in the right direction, going to find this Nexus pretty quickly. We've got the probe sitting here waiting for that SCV. Gonna try to get a moving shot going on it. Good fighting here so far from Light, but he's not able to get over and actually spot this out just yet. Good hits, good hits. A little bit of extra range on the probe, so a few more shots and he might actually be able to pick that off. No. The SCV does make its way by. We'll come in to see the Nexus, and double gateway going to be the follow-up here for Snow. Throwing down those 2 gates. We'll see how Light decides to react here. Marine heading out across the map. We'll be producing a second Marine, and the factory is on the way. It's in a bit of a weird position here where the Vulture, as it pops out, it actually can't send directly. It's got to go around those buildings there in the main, but that's, I mean, it's going to slow it down a little bit, but not too much. We'll see if he actually pulls workers and tries to go for this, go for a kill here on the Nexus. It seems like he will not. 2 Marines are going to make their way into the natural, and a command center gets started here. He's going to go for a couple of probe kills, maybe over there at the natural. Oh, it's actually a Marine and an SCV, so Not going to have much DPS there to work with. A Zealot does pop, and that should be the end of any pressure coming from the Terran player. Kills off the SCV as well. So Snow going to start off here with a good advantage in the early game. Getting that Nexus first means he will have an economic lead over Light. And Light will have to make that up some way, somehow. Whether that be with an early dropship or a Vulture run by or some sort of harassment. It's going to be necessary to get him back in this game. Otherwise, Snow will just never let go of this lead. So a Vulture does pop out. He's going to track down this probe finally and get rid of it. If he can ever get on top of this. God, probe is so slippery. Stays alive in the main for a very long time. Finally going to lose its life. And we can find out what the follow-up will be here from Light. The natural is down. About to be finished up here. More Vultures on the way. I'm not sure if that's speed or mines coming from Light, but it would be probably likely, I would say, speed. Yeah, probably speed, because you know that there's not going to be... Okay, actually, mines finishes. Never mind. I was going to say, because I think you're not going to see any DTs coming out right now. It seems unlikely that we're going to get DTs after that 2-gate start here, but it does have the mines out. It's going to control space. Snow's already in the wall-in, so it can't really deal damage, and actually a quick third from Light. So Light going to control the map with mines, and then grab an insanely fast third. It's going to be able to power up very, very quickly off of that third command center. And if Snow doesn't spot this, that could lead Light into reversing the economic lead that Snow has coming off of this early start here. But if Snow gets out and actually finds that base, if he sees that, he's just going to drop a bunch of gateways and go and kill the third base here. At least force it to lift and leave. So it all comes down to the scouting here, really. If Snow manages to get out on the map here pretty quickly and actually spot that base, he should have enough to go and kill that. But if it manages to stay alive for a bit longer, this game will continue on, and Light will reverse that lead. Now, getting his armory and a starport, so being very greedy here. Wow, not even adding on any additional factories yet. How is he going to hold off if Snow actually gets out on the map here? He's coming out with his couple of dragons. He's bringing the observer along as well. Going to find out, maybe get over across the map and actually find out about this command center now. It's actually mining as well. Going to lose the probe. Nice pick off there. They're going to slow that growth down, and he actually didn't pick off the mine at the natural first, which is kind of crazy to me. He wants to get that down, I'm sure, but now he's going to find the third of Light, and this is going to be a pretty big surprise here, pretty big shock to Snow, I think, who definitely, I don't think, was expecting this type of play. Ooh, Wraiths being made, so Light knows that probably the one thing that could actually maybe end up breaking him here is going to be a shuttle coming across the map with some Reavers that might end up actually breaking through his third. So getting out some Wraiths here early makes a lot of sense. You can pick off that shuttle very, very quickly as it flies in, or as it's flying into your main base or whatever, and that can really equalize the playing field, equalize the battle, and make it possible for the Terran to come out on top. Now, these Dragoons are coming across the map. He's got Wraiths in the main. He's going to be setting up a turret ring here now with that eBay being finished. The shuttle is out. He's going to fly into the main. The Wraith, is it in position? Here comes the turrets, but they're not finished yet. Here's the Wraith. Oh, he must see it now. There's the speed finishing up for the shuttle, so it can't be tracked down exactly by this Wraith. It should be able to run away fast enough, but as long as he keeps the Wraith on this shuttle, He will be able to pick off the Reaver, and the Reaver doesn't get much damage at all. Only picking off a few Vultures there. Not too many SCVs, but this counterattack doing very well. Diving here into the natural. The SCVs managed to get in between the Dragoons and the main base, so at least he's managed to do that. He's setting up his tanks here in the main, and then over at the third, moving the Dragoons, or the SCVs out of the way. The Dragoons managing to get up here towards the main. He picks off 2 tanks, but all of the Dragoons fall, and I don't think this was the greatest trade for Snow. He picks off a lot of SCVs, but wow. Light cleans that up nicely, and he's still got a great economy here. No mining at the third from Snow, whereas Light is mining perfectly well from his third base. He's got a good number of tanks. He's going to be able to add on all his factories now. He's still got the turret ring. He's still got the Wraith. Fleet Beacon on the way for Snow, so he knows that it's going to be a little while before Light is ready to move out. Might as well go up into Carrier Tech here. Try to get crazy value out of those and maybe make my way back into this game. But a scan comes down, and look at this. Light sees what's happening. He just starts adding on factors like crazy. And since he's already on 3 bases, he can power up crazy fast here. He can add on all those factors right now and just have an insane army here very, very fast. So I'm liking Light's chances here. I think he can break this man. Look at that beautiful setup there in the wall at the third base. He's going to come over to this side, try to throw down some mines or something on this left-hand side, but the Reaver manages to drop out. Now, a Wraith is present. That's going to deal a lot of damage to the shuttle. I think there are some Dragoons nearby that's going to keep that alive, and the Reaver manages to stay in the game for now. 4th base on the horizon here for Snow, but hasn't really taken it yet. He needs to focus on getting ready for this attack. This attack's going to be very, very strong and difficult to deal with. Already 102 supply for Light, only 20 supply behind his opponent, and that's going to close even quicker as all of these factories finish up. This is going to be producing an insane number of mech units. Only 1 cannon over in this location. Is very little defense at that third base location, but for now, Light just content with staying at home, keeping himself alive, denying the damage from this shuttle, and trying to build up into this big army that can eventually come out and actually kill our Protoss in this game. He's going for it. Bit of a mistake there by Light. Not committing onto the shuttle, trying to keep the Wraith alive and kill the shuttle, ends up losing the Wraith, and the shuttle survives. So, bit of a misplay there. He's getting all of his factories down. They're almost all complete. Losing some Vultures as they head out on the map, but does manage to get a few out there. Could go for some economic damage here. Gonna get some mines in the middle of the map as well. Start to control space, but good movement by Snow. Gonna kill those mines and the Vultures here. Not allow him to get any economic damage going, and we should have the first carriers popping out now. That carrier number is just going to grow here, but in a few seconds, in a few minutes, Light is going to reach that critical mass, that critical supply, around 160. With the +1, +2 should be almost done as well. +2 timing with the 160 supply. Going to come across the map with rallies and rallies of Goliaths to assist. Might be able to crack this Protoss player. Double Reaver. Gonna lose. Oh, loses the shuttle, but doesn't lose the Reavers there. So nice save by Snow, pulling those back just in time. Picks off a couple of Goliaths as well as a tank. And here comes the pain, man. Light with 160 supply to 168. 3 carriers are out, 3 more in production. Can he get these out in time? There we go. 4th pops out, so we're getting to that critical mass now. Carriers in high numbers, very difficult to deal with here as the Terran player. Though he does have +2, he does have this massive army. We'll see what he can do with it. The mine over on this side actually spots these carriers' movement. That's huge. Knowing where they are is half the battle. Get your Goliaths in position and not allow these to deal massive damage. He picks off the Shuttle once again pushing forward with this army, just slicing through these dragons. There's no zealots to speak of, so just unsiege and go. Light pushing across the map. Quite a few of the Goliaths have died, but massive amounts of Goliath reinforcements following up this army. Light gonna push towards that high ground. He snags the center high ground, but has yet to actually get up towards the third base. He's just following this army down to the bottom center. Going to kill off as many of these dragons as possible. Dragons doing a good job cutting back, just killing off as many vultures as they can. There's still no zealots here, no zealot speed either. Just a bunch of carriers. They're gonna head towards the main base, it looks like. Try to deal some damage there, try to draw some attention. There's not a lot of... Okay, they're not actually going up there. For now, they're just gonna sit here in the middle. He knows how important it is not to lose position here in the center, not to allow these tanks and Goliaths to get up on this high ground. He's gonna pick off the Science Vessel. So a nice pick off there. But Light is shoving forward with a massive Goliath army. Pickoffs on the tanks going to be the main priority here for these carriers, but a lot of their interceptors are being killed off. The army is sliding forward here, gonna unsiege and move up a little bit. He's not really in range with the majority of these tanks, so he's losing a lot of his vultures before the battle actually begins. And now he's diving forward. Here comes the tanks. The Goliaths are following up here. This is too big of an army. Light is going to crush through this. Snow not able to produce enough interceptors here. Another couple of carriers are going to follow this up, but this is 6 carriers. All of their interceptors have been annihilated. 2 more bases being taken by Light on his side of the map. He's just snagging up so much resources here. And pushing through onto the third base. Is almost in range. Just going to move up a little bit more. Get in range of this command center. Or of this nexus, excuse me. And then that is going to be that. Snow cannot stop this army. It is just way too powerful. He's going to go for a slight counterattack here. Bringing some Dragoons around the bottom side of this army. Try to get into some sort of a position where he can actually fight this, where he can actually deal some counterattack damage. If he can't beat this army, at least go around it. But now some tanks have made their way up towards this 4th base. They're going to be hitting the Nexus. Luckily, some carriers do head over to that location, going to stop that from occurring. But Nexus number 3 is going down here. Is going to fall no matter what. Finally, the carriers have sufficient interceptors to fight, but it's still not a great trade with these +2 Goliaths just ripping through the interceptors and chasing down the carriers. Is a good position for them. Flank with the Dragoons. Only 2 tanks are left. He should really engage with this. Diving on the carrier, manages to pick off one of them. And as that carrier goes down, the rest of the Goliaths will try to run away. The Nexus is still alive. There we go. Finishes off the Nexus there right at the end. The last shot from the tank, killing that off. And how do you ever come back as Snow here, who's sitting on a lot of carriers? He's got a ton of carriers. Let's give him that. But almost no economy. To a, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base Terran player? 5 base. It's going to be a hard road here for Snow. He's starting off by attacking here into the main, but I think just a full-on counterattack from Light is going to force the hand of Snow. He's going to have to head back with this carrier army and actually try to defend here. A lot of Dragoons on the map. Only 3 tanks in this army. So if he picks these tanks, okay, 4 tanks now. If he picks off these tanks, Dragoons could deal a lot of damage and actually help him to defeat this mostly Goliath army. He's coming forward now. Still only 2 tanks remain. Picking off a few more Goliaths here. Will he actually engage with all of these Dragoons? He's waiting until the Goliaths are a little bit lower in number here. He's reducing that count by quite a lot. Some more reinforcements coming up though. 2 more tanks as well. With 4 tanks, those Dragoons are going to get splattered pretty easily. So he's going to fall back. Go ahead and start to attack into the main again. It's not too hard to switch between the main and the defense here for Snow. Falling back, got 4 actually observers on this, so he wants to make sure that he doesn't get picked off by a bunch of Cloaked Wraith. 3 more carriers coming out. That is a massive number of carriers now. Almost about 12 carriers, I think. That is an insane number of interceptors with all these Dragoons. He should be able to take a fight here in the middle, but can he actually take it in a fashion that allows him to have a good trade here? Okay, some Dragoons coming towards this bottom left corner. Gonna kill off this command center. Actually, probably won't get the command center, but might be able to stop the mining for a little bit. Elias coming up here, trying to defend the main. Keeping Snow back, not allowing him to pick off any more of those factories. Actually gets a carrier there, so nice micro by Light. Bring some Dragoons down, splatters those Dragoons, or bring some tanks down to splatter the Dragoons. And it sets up some turrets in the middle. Actually, these tanks are a little out of position. Maybe he can pick off some of those. No. One goes down, but a carrier being traded. Good movement by Light, and he's bringing up the tanks now. The tank positioning here in the middle is so strong. Another round of Dragons moving around the bottom side here and gonna go into the main at the bottom left. So he will be able to deny at least that base. 3 more Dragoons get picked by those mines. Very disappointing there for Snow. He's got a ton of gas banked up. I would love to see him begin on some Templar and Storm here, though it is such a close game. I don't know if he feels he has the resources to do so. The Goliath number is so high right now, and he's picked off all of the science vessels, so it's unlikely that he'll be hit with an EMP anytime soon. Going into the main once again, but that's going to prompt Light to attack in with some Templar here. He could absolutely take a good trade, but he just doesn't have them at the moment. Going into the main again, picks off another factory, slowing down that production yet again for Light. We'll see if that makes a difference here. He's actually going to lose his third base while just attacking here into the main, killing off turrets. Not the best trade. Losing a base for some turrets, but he picks off another factory. And what is the factory count right now? 4? He's got 4 factories left. That is really not a lot of production for Light. Now, he has to save this base. Snow absolutely must save this base right now. He's going to fight with the carriers, with the tanks. Going to try his best to fight against this. So many Goliaths, though. So many Goliaths completely surrounding this army. There's one cannon here, but he really needs more than that. Goliaths coming up as well, gonna help to fight off these, or sorry, Dragoons coming up to help fight off these Goliaths, but oh, he's losing carriers, he's losing that Nexus, he's got no more mining on the map, he's still got a bunch of money, but he has to be replenishing these interceptors that cost a lot. Oh, there's just so much money here for Light. How can he possibly lose this game at this moment? He's more than 50 supply ahead. Trying to move through the map with these Dragons, trying to stop the mining of Light over at that base in the bottom left, but he just can't do it. Building a few more units here. Snow's going to go for broke, try to make his way through the middle of the map and kill off this base here. Even with that base going down, I don't know if Snow can win this game. He gets a nice EMP there on all of the carriers. And the Dragoons are here, but the Goliath number is just so high. I don't think there's any way to pull off this army here of Light. Now, gonna go ahead and try to pick off some SCVs, looks like. Maybe get a couple of SCVs as well, but this is really throwing cups of water on a raging fire at this point. He has so much economy, he's got so much army here. The army lead is insane. Some tanks coming through the middle of the map. They're going to fight with these Dragoons straight up. 2 tanks versus 2 Dragoons. I think the tanks will take that easily. A couple more of these tanks going down here in the middle, and some Dragoons are with this army, but there's just nothing left here for this Protoss player. His interceptor count is getting low. His money incredibly low right now. Can barely produce interceptors at this point. He actually can't produce anything now with 24 minerals and no income. He will have to tap out here. Light is going to be the victor, and finally, a Terran victory for the boys. Light bringing it home in this final game. GG! Light takes the victory, and Terran takes a win. Oops, sorry guys, I forgot to eliminate Soma and... Well, I guess I forgot to eliminate Soma from that last game, but as you can see, Soma and Snow are eliminated. Light is victorious. Oh, Jesus, that's not what I wanted to do. Here's the point rankings, guys. You can see that Terran takes 2 points home, matching up with Zerg, who's taken 2nd place in the first 2 weeks of KCM. So a reversal here now. Both Terran and Zerg tied up. Of course, Protoss in the lead right now. Doesn't mean too much. We're only in week 3 at the moment. And every week, the winner will earn 2 points. The 2nd place squad will earn 1 point. And of course, the 3rd place will earn 0. Wow. Zerg coming in last this week. Major upset here. And Terran coming in first. Speed did amazing this week of KCM. He was on fire. Fantastic play by him. I think we're going to see great things out of him in the future, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. Really appreciate all of the subs and the follows and your support on Discord, Patreon, and PayPal. All of the links are in the description below. Also, check out KCM's channel. Give him some support. He's the one guy at Africa TV who really seems to care about the foreign fans, has given us permission to cast this series, and also just a lot of moral support over all of the crazy stuff that's been going on. So definitely go check out his channel, give him a sub as well. The link is in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been a beautiful week of KCM. I'll see you guys next time.